How do you make your own hand sanitizer that is effective and actually kills germs when there's a shortage of ingredients because of a situation such as a pandemic where everyone is buying up supplies? I'm going to go over 3 ways to create a do-it-yourself hand sanitizer in this video. Plus, I'm going to go over some things other recipes and videos are not telling you that may make your DIY hand sanitizer ineffective or contaminated. Hi, and welcome again to the Problem Solver channel. You've probably seen a ton of videos or recipes on the internet about how to make your own hand sanitizer. Well, what's different about this video? First of all, my advice is backed up by science and official organizations. I'll link to my sources in the description section below. Second, there are some sanitary considerations many of these recipes are not taking into consideration that may contaminate your sanitizer that I'll be discussing. And third, I'm going to give you some alternative recipes, which is important because stores may not have everything in stock due to panic buying or hoarding. And last of all, I'm going to discuss with you the principles behind what we're doing, so that if you can't find all of the ingredients mentioned in the video, you can use some reasonable substitutes. Now, if you're here to just see the recipes, you can jump to the time code here, or see it in the section below in the description. But I suggest that you don't, because you'll be missing a lot of information that I'll be discussing in making your own hand sanitizer. So the first thing I need to advise you in regards to keeping things sanitary is that according to the Center for Disease Control, or CDC, the best way to keep yourself sanitary is by thoroughly washing your hands. Look at the link below for CDC hand washing guidelines. They also advise that a hand sanitizer is less effective when hands are soiled or oily. Hand sanitizers also have a harder time removing substances like pesticides or chemicals with heavy metals, which is why hand washing is a preferred method. The next thing I want to advise you about is that if possible, use a commercially produced hand sanitizer you run across in an average store. These sanitizers are proven to be effective and safe. However, if you're watching this video, that's probably not an option. When making your own sanitizer, you need to follow some rules in order to make a sanitizer that actually works and kills pathogens. According to the World Health Organization, or WHO, an effective hand sanitizer must contain a minimum of 60% isopropyl alcohol in its final solution. Contrary to what other organic or eco-friendly recipes are saying, you can't make an effective hand sanitizer with essential oils, vinegar, or whatever. It has to contain alcohol. Now, on the other hand, we just can't use any cleaning chemical in a hand sanitizer either. Cleaning products such as bleach are much too harsh to use on the human body and could damage or burn your skin. Keep bleach for use in do-it-yourself sanitary wipes. If you're interested in that, check out my video on that in the link above. The next consideration is that proportion is important. All the recipes I'm going to discuss involve using alcohol as the ingredient that kills the pathogens. But you can't use alcohol by itself because it evaporates too quickly before it can kill all pathogens or before it can be properly applied. That's why we have to use a humectant. A humectant is a fancy term for a substance that helps preserve moisture, such as lotion. Whatever humectant you use, you're going to use it to delay the evaporation of alcohol and also use it to assist in applying the alcohol to your skin. As I mentioned before, proportion is important. Too much alcohol and the solution will evaporate too quickly. Too much humectant and the solution won't kill pathogens. In order to make your own hand sanitizer, you'll need the following: a measuring cup or measuring spoons that can go down to the quarter cup, a tablespoon or an equivalent, go down to that level, and a container to hold the solution when you're done, such as a spray bottle, a pump bottle, or a container that you can squeeze the solution out of. The final product will be quite watery, so any of these containers will work. But before you start, you need to sanitize everything. Otherwise, if you're using dirty or contaminated equipment, you will have a hand sanitizer that's contaminated and you'll be worse than when you started. Click on the link above to see my other video on how to sanitize anything. Now, the first recipe we're going to talk about is the one that's actually recommended by the WHO, and that includes 3 ingredients. The first being isopropyl alcohol, and it has to be at a minimum of a 90% solution. Second, we have hydrogen peroxide, and then we also have aloe vera gel. Now, the hydrogen peroxide can be in any concentration that's found in a store. And it's in the recipe to kill the pathogens that are in the solution, not the pathogens that are being attacked when you apply it to your skin. That's the alcohol's job, and that's why it has to be a 90% solution, because when we finally mix everything, it has to reach at least a minimum of 60% final solution of alcohol. And of course, the aloe vera gel is there to act as the humectant. So what proportions do we use? First of all, we'll have to use 1 cup or 250 milliliters of isopropyl alcohol. Again, we're going to use the equipment here that's already been sterilized. So 1 cup. And then we're going to use 1 tablespoon of the hydrogen peroxide. And last of all, the humectant, which is the aloe vera gel, 1/2 cup. There we go. Make sure you stir it well so that everything fully dissolves. Take the container you're going to use to apply it with and pour in the solution. This will make enough for 2 bottles for me. And you're ready to go. Now, the second recipe we're going to discuss is very similar. Of course, we're going to have to use alcohol again, but this time we need just 75% or higher of isopropyl alcohol. We'll need the hydrogen peroxide in any kind of concentration to kill the pathogens within the solution. And instead of the aloe vera gel, we're going to use glycerin. Now, this one happens to be vegetable glycerin, but it can be any type of glycerin. And the glycerin acts as a humectant, and since it's more oily, you need less of it than the aloe vera gel. Now, this means that you can use a lower concentration of alcohol to achieve the 60% final concentration. That's helpful if you are having a hard time finding a 90% or higher alcohol solution in stores. So what are the proportions here? We're going to use 1 cup of the 75% isopropyl alcohol. Then we're going to use, again, a tablespoon of the hydrogen peroxide. And now it's going to be only a 1/4 cup of the humectant, that being the glycerin. And stir it all up until it's thoroughly dissolved within the alcohol. After it's fully dissolved and fully mixed up, take your container that you want to use to apply your hand sanitizer there you go. It's a little bit more oily, but that's a good thing. That means that the alcohol is not going to evaporate immediately. It gives it time to sanitize your hands. Now the third recipe we're going to discuss is very similar to the first one. It contains, again, 90% isopropyl alcohol, the hydrogen peroxide to kill the pathogens in the solution, and this time instead of aloe vera gel, we're going to use aloe vera juice. If for some reason you can't get the gel, but you can get the juice, you're going to use it here. Now the proportions are going to be the same, so we're going to have 1 cup, you guessed it, of the isopropyl alcohol, 90%. One tablespoon of the hydrogen peroxide. And there it is, half cup of aloe vera juice. You want to stir it really well. This one is much easier to stir than the aloe vera gel. We take our dispersal container, and again, ready to go. Your own hand sanitizer in 3 different ways. Now remember, you can use any humectant in your recipe if you can't find the items that I mentioned in this video. But here are 2 important considerations you want to think about when fine-tuning your own recipe. The first thing is the humectant must be able to dissolve with alcohol. In other words, it has to be soluble with isopropyl alcohol. For example then, vegetable oil would not be a good example because it is insoluble with alcohol. And common hand lotions are also a bad idea for humectant in this kind of recipe because many of those lotions contain oils and therefore not soluble with alcohol. The second thing you want to consider also is that the recipe has to, no matter what you do, contain alcohol, and that the final solution has to be 60% alcohol. Now, do you have a favorite humectant that you like to use or anything else that works well for you? I'd like to hear it in the comment section below. Now, if you want to go that extra mile, you can always add an essential oil such as lavender here to make the hand sanitizer smell better. It gives a pleasant odor and it doesn't smell so alcohol-y or sterile, if you will. You don't have to do that. It doesn't actually increase the efficiency or the deadliness of the hand sanitizer, but it does make it more pleasant for people around you or for yourself. Now, if you have your own effective recipe or something that actually works for you, I'd love to hear it in the comments section below. If you found this information helpful and you found these recipes informative, I would love for you to like this video, subscribe if possible to the channel so we can make many more videos to help you out. Thanks for watching.